Let's cross over to Roland.
Over a week ago of this grave, if not big disaster, and that's why we're here, TV3 New Day, live in the North Tongue constituency. And now, so far, we have the aerial shots that's indicating inundated waters of the various communities.
Yes, as you can see, it's one thing to see it on television, and it's an entirely different thing to see it live. A lot of houses, homes, businesses, restaurants, schools, hospitals have been completely submerged underwater. And being on the water now, we're currently next to something that I believe was a drinking spot. But now more than half of it is underwater. Also on the water now, I cannot begin to describe the stench, the smell of the water. And the water is totally black. You cannot see the inside of it. It's terrible. And since yesterday when we came, we went into the town, we walked around, and we spoke to some of the people in the community. I particularly spoke to a young boy, a 12-year-old boy, Della, who told me that his school has been completely submerged, and he and his classmates have since not been able to go to school. It has totally changed their way of life. It has affected them very terribly, and they have not, well, I should say I have not in my entire life seen a flood like this, of this magnitude. And the truth is, this is not the first time these areas have been flooded, but this is the first time we're seeing a flood of this magnitude here in Mepe and its surrounding communities. So this morning, we're going to bring you a live coverage of, more than anything, how these devastating floods have affected the way of life of the people, a real-time account of the relief and support that they are receiving. We're going to cross over at some point to the shelter, the secondary school, where a lot of the people have taken cover this morning.
Well, and as you will see on your screens, we have aerial shots that comprehensively have been taken of the various communities within the North Tongue enclave, including Mefe, and you find that residential homes as well as businesses are all in the floodwaters. Importantly, we have to situate that just like the way we're seated in a canoe, that has become the means of transport. Ideally, just a week or two ago, if you came here, you would find that this was just an intersection of the main road where you can walk on foot and then go to any neighbor or somebody else. And that is the difficulty that many of these residents will have to contend with. Yes. We do know that thousands of people have been affected by this.
Yes.
What is needed is for you also to donate your support. And Media General, through 3 Foundation, we have officially, as you know now, launched our own relief fund as a campaign to make sure that all of us contribute to this big disaster, a disaster of disastrous magnitude. And all of us need to make sure that you want to apprise people of the short codes as well as
we're asking you to support, and the number that you can send your donations to is 05974331110. Or you can basically or simply send it to MTN merchant code 120494. 120494. And when we say no amount is too small, we mean it. Talking to the people yesterday, they talked about how basically the shops that they used to go to even buy gari and sugar have all been submerged, and they are all one people in this community. So even though you see that when you go to higher ground, so on this side, it appears relatively dry and life is going on as usual or normal, everyone on this side is affected. And because they are one people and one family, they are all affected by this. It's devastating. And
Well,
so
certainly.
please do send your support to, no amount is too small.
Yes, certainly. And Media January 3 Foundation are making this possible. And as you already know, we have the merchant number as well as the mobile account for you to send through your donations. Or you can walk through the premises of Media General just around close to the Jubilee House, or what we call the Presidential Drive, and then make your walk-in donations. But we already have some big regular watchers of the show making their contributions to this big support that is needed for those who have been affected, thousands of victims following the Akosombo Dam Spillage. Chairman Godwin Tamaklo of the Rates Group came in with his workers the whole of yesterday. They were with the Member of Parliament for Northton, Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa, who possibly will be joining us within the course of our interaction. And with the Rates Group, they were able to donate a number of assorted items as well as food packs to be donated to many of the communities. Indeed, we've had First Kai, a number of them all making their presence felt in the constituency.
And I should tell you, Roland, last night when we came here, around 9 p.m., we saw that there were people crossing over from this side to the other side, and it was pitch black. And I mean, it was not safe, because a lot of these people do not have life jackets or Wellington boots, or even torchlights. So as we continue to ask for food items and ask for monetary support and so on, we also ask for life jackets, we ask for Wellington boots, we ask for torchlights to make their commute from one side of the flood end to the other side safer, because from what we saw last night, Roland, it was very dangerous, very, very dangerous. There were children trying to cross over. So you can see people crossing over now on your screens, but at night it's so much worse. If you think this is dangerous, well, you should see it at night. In fact, you will not see it because it's too dark and black. And you know that power has totally, there's a total blackout on this side. The electricity is out. So we're going to talk to Achu. Achu, you were with us last night. You took us around last night. What can you tell us about what is happening now? What used to be here at this particular spot we're standing in?
We are facing a lot, because if you see the water, no one on this set will be able to drink this water. Our farms, buildings, everything collapsed. So we are seeking, calling for help. We need more things that can make us safe in this town.
What do you need exactly?
Come again.
What are some of the things that you need?
As you said, we need life jackets for one, and also food that we eat, water that we will bath. Because this water you cannot bath. You can't bath. You can't use this water to bath. So we need water, food, and also medicals, this clinical that will take care of us.
All right.
And as you see around that, this is the transport point. And Achu, before last week or two, this was just a normal area, right? There was no water here. And now it's become a canoe transport point. Okay, so how many people do you and your friends tend to transport daily here? How many people? A
lot of people. Because if you go like the school there, Kizito there, people are there having nothing to do. They are living there because of the fraud. So instead of them to be there, they will be hungry, will catch them. So they have to come here and buy food and go back. So every day, a lot of people cross here and there.
And is there sufficient food from what you know? When they cross over to this side, are they able to bring enough to the other side? Some people have donated food items to you, but we've heard reports that the raw food items like rice, fresh rice, bagged rice, spaghetti, and so on is not very useful to you because you cannot cook it. You don't have the utensils and so on to cook it because you're displaced. What can we do, really? Would you prefer that the food that is brought to you is already cooked and so on?
Yes, we prefer something like that because you don't have a place to cook. So if they will cook the food and bring it to us, it will be safe than bringing us the rice for we ourselves to be cooking.
Okay. And about how many people are in the school? Do you know?
I can't tell you now.
But can you estimate about, are you more than 1,000?
Yeah, we are more than 1,000.
No, don't worry. Not
All
scary
right.
moment for you. Don't
Yeah.
worry. And Lafia, Abeya do work behind. Okay.
Okay, I think I'm going to sit down.
Please sit down.
Yes.
Sit down, huh? But you come from Accra. It's a coastline. Why are you worried about water? Anyway, but that's just by the way. Ekayemye koba achia ajevava nyafwa fomo. When did you start noticing that water started seeping or coming into your homes?
Monday. Bradagbe ojo goma sesen pi okuragbe Thursday. Kwa kpobi kasemi anya Wednesday and Thursday gi ofiti eshiko gi ofio ko mi don wulenti ha before na yi no vi ho na bi aton de cover toko ehye ebleta o eva na bi na no kromite chodo o yo chi home yeta me no mi don wulenti o asho mi bube eketa arugene river la ga ko amo tere hyen ye ko si atade fula that opportunity kasemi anya gi ofiti eshigele o yeta mi le kude na government e bi na akpelem no gi mi do fifie high elbe na kwem nkwi light bill nya mega be na one of the nkwi light bill because nemi la lenkron nwe mi o le gi mi o na ka fi mi o kata mi po light the whole Ghana gak opportunity gat anya no ko bill be na America ta bill be 1,000 cedis na mi o kata fi che chomi eta mi le kudo na government bi na wa pele mi le guma ma sumula e tono na mi enugo
Okay,
so
Sesi Beturi is saying that they notice water seeping into the communities. And we have to say that these are ordinary communities, like the way you have our premises in Kandao, your community, where you have various neighborhoods within the whole town. It's just a normal community. From Tuesday of the last week, they started noticing that some areas further than here, where we are currently, where they are transporting people in canoes, started witnessing water coming into Mefe, this particular area. And then by Wednesday and Thursday, by the time they wake up on Thursday, the water had reached here. So they had no inclination. And he is advocating that at least something is done about it. Via Rito, Pakla Nadmo, Pakla Maga, Plado, Oba, Yo Jakbaba, Yo the Bafa, Nem Yontomias. Nemyanya be echiagbona ode gbefa mienya
ode gbepa le June me before we va festival vai eyi ma me kro na nekem no jeje na ma ba kasemi anya la no ko va be zide kako ehie va amele ko do ngati bi atai na ma yeah.
So I asked him whether they had some level of sensitization, because this is a big justification that formally we're told by NADMO, the National Disaster Management Organization, the Volta River Authority, the various district or municipal security councils. And he does corroborate that the sensitization was done in June. But usually the water will not come towards here. So it means that the water usually will not come here, because this is a normal community. So that's the difficulty they have now.
And I want to find out, when the water started coming in, and at what time of day was it? And how easy was it for them to be able to evacuate completely?
Actually, for that question, I can't answer. As you see the water here, you think maybe if the water starts, it's not coming again, maybe you pray that maybe from December to January, maybe it can live here. Yes.
No, but when it started coming into your homes, do you remember when it started coming into your homes? Did you see it happen? Was it at night?
Yeah, last week, Monday.
And how easy was it for the entire community to evacuate completely, to get out and run?
The water, you see, we have some area that is water place before this one come. So as we are seeing now, if the water stop, it can also go into the
those areas. Are they water logged or what? What do you mean by that? Or is it that we have a water body around there?
Yes,
tojiaro la faro.
Fima eshi neshi normal eshi normal na fima yeta ne eshi la agbraga ile afima ji.
So
So
they usually have places where maybe in a normal community where there's always flood or waterlogged areas.
Prone
Yeah,
areas.
so they usually will have that, and then the water will recede after the rains.
Okay.
yeah, oh,
It's a normal.
normal.
Okay.
But where's your house?
My house is behind the rural bank.
Is your house also submerged?
Yes.
So,
What were
so your
you-
house is submerged.
Yes,
Totally.
total.
How many people live in your house?
We are almost 20.
20 of you live in that house?
Yes.
So all of you are displaced now?
Yes.
Were you able to take anything out of your home?
Yes, we take some.
What have you lost?
For me, I lost my mattress and my TV. Yes.
Your mattress and your TV?
Yes.
Do you live with your nuclear family or like your
Yes.
wife? You have a wife and children? No. Okay, so where are they now?
I'm sleeping on a house store rural bank there. I'm sleeping on it.
And where are the other 19 people?
There was some did RCGSS and Kisinto.
And what do you do for a living?
We are managing.
What work do you do before the flood came?
I'm selling.
What do you sell?
I sell tires, a cement, building materials.
So in our local parlance, you're a businessman.
Yes.
And what is your business also on this side?
Now it's not continuing again because the river come. Everybody have left their town.
Okay.
Yes.
Now continuing the interaction, whilst I also try to get on to the next.
All right. So basically, we are trying to get a sense of how this very devastating flood has affected the livelihood of the people over here. And we've been talking to Mr. Sesti here and his brother, who have told us about when the flood started, how they have lost everything. Sesti lives with 20 other people, or well, he lived with 20 other people in his household. Now all 20 of them are displaced. He used to be a businessman, dealing in car tires and so on. Now he has absolutely nothing. And now what you do is you run this canoe, right? So this is your new job. How much do you charge people to commute from this side to the other side?
One cities.
1 cedi to go and 1 cedi to come. Are there people who can't pay?
Yes.
And what do you do when people can't pay?
We consider them.
You also run this canoe?
No, I don't run this canoe.
All right. He is the business owner. Okay, I think I want to talk to you. I'll come over there in a minute. But about how many people cross over every day?
More than 200 a day.
More than 200 people cross to the other side every day. I see. And
We have a place for RCGSS and the Ajakro George area.
how many points are there?
9.
9 different canoe points to cross over to the various schools where the people are settled. I see. Now, with all the help you are getting, have you been told what will be done practically for you people who live on this side of the community that has been submerged? Do you see the water going down? Have you been told what to expect in the coming days?
Madaku, a share allo and yako gala, Malamemiamo, Akbabe, Alam moving la other places say allo leleje and yakola.
I do not understand what he said. But can you
Okay, so
say some of it? Yeah,
let me
Roland,
do.
you're there. There
Just
you
be
are.
there.
Awesome.
So basically, he's saying that in Kenaglo, Asha Wonka. Okay, so basically, what he is saying that since the water seeped into the community, the water has not been receding, but it's because technically or by engineering explanations, the VRA is still spilling water. Yeah, so that's basically
So
what
it
he's
hasn't
saying.
gone down at all, but has it come up?
Evacuation.
No.
Mavagio.
Yes.
Last week at Namakola. So
Yes.
since last week, it's been at the same level.
Yes.
And many of these houses are at the roofing level. Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's talk about public health. And we've been told that this area has now been declared a public health emergency zone by the Director of Public Health here in the Volta region. Do you see that people getting sick? We've heard about snake bites. We've heard that there are an increased number of snake bites now, and some people have actually lost their lives because of this. Are you aware of this?
Madakujima dejes bi amaleke keneshedo amaleke makuchishi mayo ba edadu amale mise kake hamaku. Yes. Nene manu college ma about a week in ke kene New York atajwe. Ivi amakuoye gake menye ne febe keneshedo ye na bi amale shitomaku. Ye edadu amozo esheme. Etamile kude bi amona jo shema zozo because esheme or black. Nele mazo ne snake lema alo dalema ma kwete Jesu.
Roland, did you catch that?
Yes. So what he's saying is that it's a very basic health education he wants to undertake. A lot of people are walking through or wading through the water, and that he believes, alongside his various opinion leaders in the communities, has devastating effects on their health. So the advice he's giving to all the communities that are inundated with water, not only Norton or Mefe or the other constituencies, is that they shouldn't be wading or walking through the water. Because you walk on dry land in some aspects of the community, then you come and walk through the water. And so he's cautioning because that has adverse effects on the health.
Did he talk about the snakes?
And my time we not joy shema zozola because them shema zola atanabe edadu mi anyao.
Okay, so he's saying that when you're walking through the water, there are times that snakes are likely to bite you. So the snakes could bite you and you'll never know because there's a lot of activity that's taking place in the water, and so you may not notice. And so he's cautioning people as a result, apart from the health objectives of the education, to also not to be part of those who tend to walk through the water because they could be bitten by snakes. All right. So now I have interaction to do. Oh, my sister, come here. So, look who you're now. Your camera in here.
Comfort Podono.
So she's called Comfort Podo. Wafiken alone have a fair fiana. Ekaye and one jaw. When did it start? A cheer over Vamia Fafoma.
Maglobe, a jogome jodagbe, blada, gake okudagbe on no speed jeepa, menenya view.
No, but speed car.
And not duji.
And not duji. Okay. So she says that, and that's Comfort. So Comfort Podo says the water they noticed in many of the areas in Mafer on Monday. Tuesday, they saw at least some signs of it. By Wednesday, by the time they wake up, it just started filling many areas up to this point. You, John, your other farmer, what did they affect your house? Look over joy la farmer.
No vigno na piem ha finya me va edomele town. Ke yo yombe e sie gbolo genye mele ha. Ime be o mele do megbo. Kaka ma de menyenya vikula enu fofo plita edu, enu fofo plita plidu. Ile fon totrolo moto na do megbo menyenya vi.
I say.
Mama.
Okay, so on Wednesday, she came to town, but then she got a call that water had inundated her house. Now, what Comfort and her sisters and the other members of the household did was they tried to salvage as many things as they could in the house. But despite all the things or the effort that they put in, all their belongings also got inundated.
Home esie egele monu vome gele homo gakali wo mo letana be mitan fonu katan.
So they couldn't pick everything. So they are lucky. The water was just at the presence of the house. So magara homo. Okay, so not on the compound, but not in their rooms. Over nami. Over Pademian. Did you get any help, and who helped you?
Honorable Samuel Kujeto, a convo cover, a she, molu, ami, play, Suseo, Gbogbo, Rekwi.
So the member of parliament for the area, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, mobilized a lot of these relief items. So following these relief items coming into the community, a lot of distribution was made. So Comfort, Bodo's household also was able to get something. What did you get? In Kemikpo?
Mattress. Play your bag the cover loco.
So you took your mattress, etc. Inke nakbola honorable Okujeto bona. So you got rice, that would be oil and then water. Okay. Comfort. Akwasia. Okay, so that's Comfort. Podo speaking to us. We'll have a number of individuals too. And now, if you just can come up, what's your own observation so far about what you're saying?
Roland, you know, when I first came in this morning, I told you that it's one thing to read about this disaster online. It's one thing to watch the videos on social media, but it's a totally different ball game when you come here into the community. There are things that we don't hear about, you know, online or through the news reportage. The way the people feel about this disaster is not, I think, is not accurately reflected in the reportage. People have lost so much. They've lost their lives. There are people who do not think that they would ever recover from this. In fact, even people who are not affected directly by the floods and are on the other side, you cannot breathe freely, really, when you walk into this part of the community.
You mean you can smell the stench?
It smells terrible. In fact, just behind us is a toilet, which has been submerged. So you can imagine what's happening here. The toilet is submerged and we're standing right next to it. You can imagine what's inside of the water. We're told there's a mortuary just down there. There's a hospital. So the pollution, the stench that the people who live in the community have to endure every day is terrible. I'm told the assemblyman is also around, so we'll talk to him. We'll talk to him shortly.
And currently the toilet, as you talked about, I think they say we should call it a
public place of convenience. Well, it's a toilet.
Public place.
We saw when we got onto the canoes earlier that children and everyone who got onto the canoe, sometimes the water got in and they fetched it out by themselves and with their hands and then just carry on with their day. Do you see what I mean?
The lack of public health education.
Exactly.
And I think that the Ghana Medical Association has done well.
Yes.
We need more of other medical professionals who kind of, the physician assistants, the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Council, if they can send more personnel, because education is needed.
Exactly.
We need to be more preventive than curative. And I think that's why we have a member of the community here. What's your name, sir?
My name is Sifas Brahma Ali.
Okay. Mr. Ali, tell us your experiences, candidly, your experiences over the years of any flooding situation as a result of any water spillage, whether it's from the Akosombo Dam or not. Just tell us your candid experiences before we come to the present.
My experience of this, all the flood that is coming on, in fact, it is destroying we the Voltians as we are here, even from the
okay.
Beke odua boy and ame utado jinu yo ko dua bo no ogbolo na mis nyebe le electricity over vama me hebe mi volta to mi electricity bill se que no kata va jo mi le bill ren pepepe nyate bono no ne yebe agbuma gbalaga ma mi owe laku ame va do enwani e dejesiema gake nyo kata le jojonfie nyo kata mi le bil khan abe aliame yo mala ku ha le khenene.
My translation here. Okay. So basically, what he's saying is that we know that the Akosombo Dam was constructed by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah the Osajefo. And he says that based on what he knows and also has been passed on as a communication to the various communities that are along the channels of the Volta Dam, they were promised not to be paying electricity bills. But subsequently, they found out that as the dam and the electricity generation and the distribution was done, they started paying bills. Because they are paying bills, he says essentially they shouldn't have been suffering from the effect of any spillage at all. But there's the reality and what is ideal. Now you can ask your question. English, he's ready to answer as well.
So when you asked the question earlier, I don't know if he captured it in his response.
No. So I wanted to have his experiences. So he said that they'd been experiencing floods. Had you been experiencing floods?
Myself, it came near my roof, but now it stopped.
No, I mean before last week. I mean over the years. Have you had Akosombo Dam spill, and as a result of that, coming to your community? Have you experienced and seen it before?
Ban achi banto vado 63 ma anyamashi. Meshi afi numa ujota. Kana eshele vavama by then oma duak bota. Ele vavama bi ale shidodo no normal nene. Gake eke vafie. Melenenio.
Since, is it 63 or 68?
63.
63.
Okay,
so the first spillage happened in 1963, and you said that you were a teenager or something, somebody of the sort. Okay, and you saw it, but it was not of this magnitude. Okay, now
that was the first time there was a spillage, a major spillage. Yeah. In 1963.
63. The second time be that.
That was the second time.
First time we are not mature.
Okay.
But the second time I was
So you
I
remember?
I experienced how it is.
Were you one of the people who were displaced? Did you have to move because of the spillage the first time?
Yeah, the first time too we moved.
You had to move. Now, after witnessing this, do you think that this spillage is because it is of a similar magnitude as the one that happened in 1963, that the people who live in this community should be permanently relocated to some other place?
Yes. I have Banto Madre, and you be no comia dalete pale. Gakaginya o Bolonya be, what them ever do a cata, Aquadri, I to 1 million sege. Gakama Jamia Mechichum, what I'm yomi Bublagay Coco.
Okay. So he said that idea also had been mooted and also communicated to the elders of the Mefa community over the years. The relocation. The proposed location was supposed to have been to Sege, where they will have the relocation of members of the community. And I'm sure at the time, a small number of the population was here, of Mefa to Sege. But the elders of the community or the elders of the town did not agree to that proposal. As a result of that, they've been here since and have been expanding in their residences as we see today.
And after what has happened now, do you think that they would revise their position? They still want to stay here.
Yeah.
So what do you want? You want the water to recede, and then you would move back into your homes, and then the buildings that can be salvaged will be salvaged, and you continue to live here.
Yes.
That's what you want.
Yeah. Mi dibeche ne tonlegi, maga ingogbo unu agava chomi hu. Ne mi diema.
Why? I mean,
they want it.
They want to continue to stay
living here, and they're hoping once the water recedes, they continue with their lives.
They can continue with their lives. But are you not afraid that this can happen again?
Yeah, we are afraid. Mi evovon be atangava jo. Mi nyanuela iji chota.
They are afraid, but it's still their community.
Still want to stay. Okay.
So right. we have. So what's your name? Are you the assemblyman?
No.
Okay. Oh, you want to come here? Okay. So how are you?
I'm fine.
Okay. What's your name, sir?
My name is Vincent Kosi Logo.
Okay, Mr. Logo. Madofagba. Okay. Ye achia javava mafo pakle toko la fia goji katan. VR to ogle na mi miesa. Ala ba mare no gblomba Juna order befana mi. There was the public sensitization or the community sensitization by the VRA. Anya ala nyama now.
Yo le nyata fama. Viare tova play assembly man. Ona minya be ole chef bato amoji. Eta amo katan le amotoa. Wa voava yi Saint Kizito. Abe bejinu ne alors toyen ki ova gba enemy. Quand last week monsieur ko va zeka boa. Oh, maman katan le ova ji katan chevacho. Oh, misagomo. Ne viare to nya be che la va gbajian. Ke jina na mi o mi anya. Be o che la va mi gbo, mi ododo le mi onu nti. Se okuvana amo le toto be pour le chef bata na le bono wagbe. Yo amo kata toto na va joyi Kizito. Onmako na mi nyama.
Okay, so 3, 4, 5 months ago, the education was undertaken by the Volta River Authority alongside the other organizations and I'm sure NADMO, etc. It will be a collaboration. Now, that education said that they will relocate them, or they should use the point of being the St. Kizito area to be the point where they could relocate to if there was any form of spillage or disaster where the water seeped into the community. But then he claims that when the spillage was done for that very week, in terms of the intensity, they were not informed. So he does admit there was education 3, 4, 5 months ago, but it looks like just pre the spillage, they thought that they needed they needed that sort of education.
Have you been personally affected by this?
Yes, sir.
So your house is also submerged?
Yeah, my house is inside the water.
It's behind the water?
Yeah, around this lane.
I'm sorry, sir. Now, how many people live in your household?
We are about 8 people.
You and your and
my
who?
Wife
your
and
wife?
my son and my
Where are they now?
All the family. Yeah, we are scattered.
What do you do for a living, sir? Do you work?
Yeah, I'm a driver.
You're a driver?
Yeah.
Okay, so your car is safe?
Yeah, my car is safe.
Is on the other side. Are you able to continue to work?
No. I can't leave my family to go to work.
Okay. Now, there are some relief items that are coming in from various donors.
A lot of things I can.
Have you gotten some of it?
I get.
Is it sufficient?
Pure water.
Pure water. Okay. People on the other side who want to help don't know, are not sure exactly the sort of help they can send. We had some people sent in bags of rice and so on, but it's not possible to cook rice when you don't have a place to stay, or a stove, or even a cooking pot. So if you could advise on exactly the kind of help that you need that will be, more practical to you, what would you say? What do you need right now?
Oh, we need rice, toilet road. You need printed things to come for the people who the water are affected.
Have you been to St. Kizito?
No.
You haven't gone there?
No. Because I'm not near to the Volta River. So I did not go to.
You've not gone there?
Yeah, I didn't go there.
All right.
So it means that there are people who are far off from the river bank or the bank of the water body who have been affected. So all these communities, you are not closer to the water body? So they are not close to the lake or the water body.
Okay.
They are not close to it. So we're having several meters, if not maybe 100, 200, 300 meters away from the water bodies, 400 meters, 500 meters within the community who have been inundated, even places that are a bit of a highland. So that's what he's saying.
Okay. Okay. All right.
nano hiama ba bakpadong le medical services plano moma nkan togbi ojabe na buba amagao no covinami. What sort of medical help do you need?
Oh, kachie wale fie. Dololo gbogbo chove. Mi to mi poji ana go be sent le godo to eshema. Eta mi hien atiko ofuno le de biso le. Wava natiko na mi kate mi akpola masase.
Okay, so I think it's the same observation that you made by way of how there seemed to be an order that is now plaguing or inundating the community because of the water that has entered the community. They are worried that pregnant women, children, etc., are also affected. They would need some medical supplies. And on our own, we are saying that some level of education is also needed. Everybody needs to come on board. Mr. Is it
Logo?
Mr. Logo Akpasia.
Akpeno.
Yo, unka kamano nyo.
No.
Okay. To be in the middle, come. All right. Now.
All right. What's your name, sir?
I'm Francis.
Francis, were you directly affected by the floods also?
Yeah, though my house has not been overtaken, there was a very serious threat, so I had to flee.
You had to flee your home, even though you were not affected?
Yes, I had to flee.
But are you back home now?
No, please, I'm still at the safe haven where we have been designated to.
At St. Kizito?
No, I am at Presby Primary.
How many of you are there?
The classrooms are 18, and so a number of people are lodging in them. I've not taken...
and what's the arrangement? Men sleep in one room, women sleep in a room, children or families or...
Just families. You come, the households are sleeping in one room, one household in another.
So if you are not with your family, you would have to join another family?
Yes, when you come and you need space, you just have to...
Are you provided mattresses, pillows?
No, you come there with your own beddings, everything.
So for those who couldn't leave their homes with their own beddings, what do they do?
You look for a friend, you look for a family member who is somewhere else, you go and lodge there. Because it's not comfortable living in a classroom where you are exposed to mosquito and all that. So people are not comfortable. Yes, around here, many people are saying that if you are not at Kizito, you do not qualify for any relief item. And it's very, very bad because when, there's an emergency situation like this, people take panic measures, you run to where there's safety, the closest place for safety, and people have to run to this school over here, others to RC Primary, to DA. And when they bring the aid, they will say, you are going straight to Kizito. And that's unfair.
So you haven't gotten any aid at your school?
We got aid, but it came late because we were sidelined from the very beginning. And so, but I'm more interested in the fact that this river, when the dam was going to be constructed, the president at that time, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, realized that it will affect the livelihood of all those who are here because we were picking clam from the river here, which we call in our language Afali. That was our livelihood. And when they built the dam, to compensate them, you have to give some, you have to either bring some factories over here or you give scholarships massively to the people, and then you exempt them from paying electricity bill. All these things that were promised our people never came. It is when I came here, I came back teaching in the community that a very illustrious son of the land went to lobby with a VRA, and they just give us just some 2 or 3 slots of scholarship. So it's like they don't do anything at all. Now, this spillage, they came. Somebody was mentioning around June or May there was a simulation exercise. A simulation is just to test the ground, your preparedness during times like this.
Okay.
So when they came, the school children we didn't get what actually was it. Then later we were told it's a simulation exercise. A simulation exercise is not a real thing. Mm-hmm. So you just come and then tell us, in the event of a dam break, in the event of a spillage, how are you supposed to react? And so the people were taught. Let's say, that's just what happened. But this other one, we were just there, and all of a sudden, the place was flooded. Houses, it is very dangerous.
You just woke up a day or two then?
I am living close to Joy Beach. The place is steep down into the river. I believed before this time that even if there was any spillage and the volume was so high, it couldn't have risen to that level. But I'm telling you that that steep place into the river has been almost filled, about tipping into my house. And it has crossed to
Tipped over your roof, or almost over it?
almost like because that place on a hilly, it's a hilly.
Okay.
And all the houses, the buildings at that resource center are submerged with trees. So it's a very scary situation. If you are there and you fall into it,
You would die.
you will be gone. So this thing that happened it's like they didn't care about us. And when people come here, this is just one of the spots.
Yeah.
The assembly is here.
How many spots are there?
There are so many spots in town where we have these canoes. People are just submerged. The entire town is like now an island. And you can see you see the debris over here. Look at all these things. So in the end, we are going to suffer from other, what we call it? Yeah, communicable diseases. So I'm just pleading with all those who are hearing from us in Murphy that the situation is not as, unless they come on the ground, they come around here, then they will see for themselves.
Yeah.
Even you yourself that are here, you can take the boat, go around and see what has happened. This toilet here is flooded. And this is not the only toilet that is flooded. There are many other toilets that are flooded all over the town. Meanwhile, we were supposed, because if the spillage happened, those who are close to the river, they are supposed to suffer this. But then this thing went, there was a low-lying area when you are going to Dekome, a village on the way, and then it passed through there, entered into all the streams, and there was a spillover effect. And so all the places.
So the whole town, basically.
The whole town.
As we can see in our area shots.
Seriously, it's devastating.
Toilets.
Toilets flooded, refuse dam flooded, cemeteries flooded.
Mosques.
There's no mosque that I know of.
He
All
said
of them.
mortuary, not mosque.
Yeah.
Morgue.
Mortuary.
Yeah, no, the mortuary is at the battle, so there's none here. It's very bad. I just want to re-emphasize that all that was promised our parents earlier in building the dam, they should make sure they redeem their promise. The government should redeem their promise.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's the Volta River Authority. Invariably the government.
What's
your name again?
I'm Francis.
I've loved your candidness, and thank you very much for this, Francis. Just go behind us. Now, if you can see, there's a house there. Is it the White House?
Yeah.
White House. The White House there, that is inundated. I mean, if this was not the situation we find today, it would just be like you walk into Media General and you see Media General as a building, right?
Yeah, and walk in and
Yes,
just
but now a whole house
is totally submerged.
is totally submerged. We have the owner of that house, the boss of the house, but it's very tall.
Yeah, very tall.
Yes, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, sir.
Please come to the middle so Natu can have a conversation with you. Now, we've
Yes,
been sandwiched.
first of all, sorry about
Thank you.
what has happened to your house.
And I'm a teacher.
Okay.
That very day I went to school, and the distance from my house to the school is about 70 kilometers. So I go there on moto, and it takes about 45 minutes on moto after crossing the main river. So when I was called that water is coming, before I looked for moto and came back, the whole house is flooded.
So you couldn't take anything from your
I
house?
couldn't take anything.
Who did you leave at home?
My mother, my aged mother,
Where is she now?
she's at Bato. We are all lodging at Bato.
Who helped her out of the house?
The grandchildren.
Okay.
Our children, yeah.
Sorry about that.
Thank you.
And so you couldn't take anything at all from your home. You've lost everything.
I lost everything. My laptops, my TV set, all my documents, my books, everything.
All your belongings.
All my belongings.
So the clothes you're wearing now, where did you get these ones?
Philanthropists donated it to
You
me.
got it from donations.
Yes.
I see. What do you need now?
Myself or the house.
What do you need? Yeah, you and your household.
Yeah, we need some mattresses, and then some food items, some clothing.
All right, sir.
You can't even go to school. Your school to...
At the schools down. Yeah, my school has also been submerged now.
Your school
The
has been
school where you teach.
I've seen Primary.
Sorry, sir. What's your name again?
Patrick Asigbe.
Okay, so Mr. Asigbe.
Kosi Aguma, brother.
Togui Kosi Aguma.
Second.
The second.
Vavalia. Avalia.
Evelia.
Avalia.
Evelia.
Togui Kosi Aguma.
Evelia.
Amaga. Well, sometimes we try to insert a lot of humor into this to make sure that the people go through all the difficulties with some level of not only pain, but also trouble sharing. And that's why we're here. But now it's been... look, since yesterday we've been going around. We've been to many of the households. We've seen some aerial shots, etc. We know we have to go to the studio for big issues, but just sum it all up for us.
Yes, so we've basically come here to one of the transport sites in Mepe where they board canoes to go over to St. Kizito, one of the havens where people who have been affected and displaced by the floods are. They've spoken to us about what they need. They need relief items, and even probably most importantly, they need medical supplies and medical help, sensitization and education about how to stay safe during these times. We will go to St. Kizito's to talk to the people who are lodged there, but right now we have to cross over to the studios for big issues.
All right, thank you so much, Nashoko and Roland Walker. They are currently in Mepe in the Volta region, where they've brought us some videos and pictures of the situation on ground. Very dire. And of course, you've heard from the people who are asking for some basic items to survive. It's disheartening what's happening in the Volta region. But just a reminder that the VRA has spoken on this matter, and they're saying that if there should be 2 days of continuous rainfall, the Akosombo Dam could break. And so residents around that area, of course, should expect some more spillage because they cannot afford to have the Akosombo Dam break. If it does that, then of course, electricity generation will also now become a problem. But Media General and 3 Foundation are officially mobilizing supplies, including food items, clothing, and other essentials to support our brothers and our sisters in the Volta region who've been affected by the spillage. We need some items such as food, like I mentioned earlier. If you have school items, whatever item you can provide to support these affected individuals and families, please drop them off here at TV3, and we will donate them to the residents in these affected communities. There are some numbers for you to call as well. 059-7433-110. Again, 059-7433-110. Or you can send some money to our merchant's number 120494 with the merchant name 3 Foundation. Please send in your contributions and let us support all these people who have been displaced. We're going straight into the big issues.